What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Three Pyramids Network with your host, Randy, the ignorant, eclectic, mad genius, man. So, first and foremost, today we are reacting to Jew. Shout out to Jew again, man. And remember, the link will be in the description below. So this reaction is the secret behind America's richest black neighborhoods, man. Let's check it out.
The media usually
Hit
depicts
that
the
like,
black
hit that
community
subscribe,
in the worst
and hit me
light
with that super
possible.
hype.
There's a long
I
history
appreciate
of
it.
grotesque racist caricatures depicting black people as childlike, animalistic, or lazy.
You know the vibe. Crime, drugs, violence, the worst neighborhoods. The media has mastered the art of monetizing, commercializing, and magnifying the black struggle.
Animals, beasts that needed to be controlled.
You better believe it.
Kinds of kids that are called super predators.
Millions of dollars will be allocated for prison and jail facilities.
3 strikes and you are out.
To the extent that when the world thinks about black people, they usually only think about the negative stereotypes. But it rarely
that's a
shows
fact.
the side of the black community that is flourishing, successful, professional, wealthy, and affluent.
$3.5 million. These are the richest black neighborhoods in America. Each has more 6- and
Oh,
7-figure
yeah.
black
Let's
earners
go.
than almost anywhere
I need to
else in
find
the
some in,
country.
Which is
in
why
the
I think
mode,
it's so
so.
important to highlight those aspects and achievements
I'm here for
ourselves.
this.
Overcoming and achieving success and building wealth is part of our story as a community, just as much as the struggle is.
Rick and Karen run Illinois' first black-owned winery called Ventrende, producing their own wines and hosting events that bring the community together.
That's correct.
That's
First
fire.
black-owned winery where we produce the wine here on premises.
Which is why it's not surprising that so many people out there don't know that there are wealthy, affluent black neighborhoods all over America. And by seeing people that look like us achieve something like this, then
It
we
makes
all
me
know
wanna
it's
do it.
possible for us as well.
What's the most amount of money that you've made in a year?
$64 million.
64
million.
But I'm Jew. Welcome to the channel. Please
What up,
like
Jew?
and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it. This is a video by Kamora Martin, Inside America's Richest Black Neighborhood.
This house cost about $3.5 million.
$3.5 million. These are the richest black neighborhoods in
They gotta say PG County. It's gotta be Bowie or the Woodmore area, maybe down by the harbor. I know PG County is still the richest black county in the country. If not one, it's probably like top 3 or something like that.
America. Each has more 6- and 7-figure black earners than almost anywhere else in the country. One neighborhood is in the Midwest, another one on the East Coast, and 2 are on the West Coast.
Hey.
But which ones? And why are these so successful?
All right.
I'm visiting all
You know I'm
4
here for
to
the Midwest,
find
baby.
out. Let's get started with our
Midwest
first
strong.
stop.
For Washington, okay, so that's by the harbor. Maybe those property values went up because of the harbor, but I guess it's
harbor,
also talking about how much money people make as well.
Fort Washington is one of the wealthiest majority black areas in America. Here, 75% of households make 6 figures or more. Many here are business owners like Jarrell and Wavitra
Fire.
Jordan.
I would assume a lot of these people have independent contracts with the federal government. For instance, if you do IT instead of working for a contractor, you can start your own contract and basically hire yourself out. So instead of a company getting paid and then paying you, that money goes directly to you, and people build big businesses like that, or do some type of work in connection to the federal government because it's such a big employer here.
Millionaire real estate investors who own the first black-owned business complex in Prince George's County. I saw that you guys are the first black owners of a business complex in Prince George's County.
That's correct.
Their office? Yeah, their office look like that. Oh, maybe this is a business office then. So those are a bunch of different businesses within that building, I guess.
Came down here, I know we had less than 10 agents. I know right now we have to be close to 70 agents. So things are growing tremendously.
But I'm Wavitra Jordan.
Jump.
I'm the broker owner of the Home Team Realty Group and co-owner of the Fort Washington Business Complex.
Gerald Jordan,
fire.
executive director for Jacob's Ladder Youth Foundation, and also just everything else down here at the Home Team Realty.
What's the most amount of money that you've made in a year in business?
Yeah, so from a real estate perspective, our annual gross income was like $64 million.
Sheesh, 64
$64 million.
Dollars.
Yep.
No, I guess they say they have a brokerage, so that sales income coming in from different agents. I mean, I know house prices are crazy, especially around here, but whew, 64 million from real estate in 1 year.
64 million in
Shout out
gross
to them, bro.
sales.
Like,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
so inspiring.
And with the nonprofit
sales.
Jacob, last year was our highest grossing revenue. It's about 2.7 million.
Okay.
And that came with a lot of food distributions that we did here in Prince George's County.
Profit money, non-profit money, that's amazing. Let me ask y'all this, right? Let's just say someone wants to become a millionaire or create more success. What advice can you give to that person?
Right. I would say definitely take risk. Okay, you're gonna have to take a risk and bet on yourself. Invest in yourself.
Business ownership isn't limited to real estate. Shad has built his wealth on the water, literally. He runs one of the most popular boat and water sport businesses in Washington, D.C. I've been seeing you making your money with all the boats out here in the Fort Washington area. So I came here to see what's up.
It's always dope when you see people be successful in businesses you never even thought of. You know, there's millionaires from owning parking lots. This dude is a millionaire from owning a boat company in D.C. That's just crazy.
If you could, let the viewers know who you are and what you do.
Hey, what's going on, good people? My name is Shad. I'm known around the world as the boat goat.
So Shad, you're the only black person that I know personally that's in the boat industry. What made you get into this business?
I went from the military to coming back here to DC selling drugs. I started my trucking company. I was working crazy hours that I was missing so much time from the kids. So I ended up going out and buying a pontoon. One day, the kids and I were out playing around on the tubes, and we pulled up to Georgetown to get lunch. And it was a guy, he walked up and he was like, yo, do you rent your boat? And I'm like, nah, I'm shooing him away because, you know, I'm just getting out of the military. My drug mentality, I'm just heavy-headed, you know, so I'll shoot him off. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm trying to get out of these damn streets.
Yeah.
He just put me on, so I jumped off.
That's crazy.
That's
$1 million business idea by somebody coming up to him, asking him if he rents his boat.
Ran over to him, listen, man, I'm sorry, you startled me. What you trying to do? He was like, I just want to take my family out. We're here from Russia for the weekend.
Oh, he rented it out on the spot. I thought he was going to say he got the business idea, went back, started his LLC.
Hey,
figured
get
out
that
how
money,
my-
bro.
No, he rented his boat out immediately. Get that money. That's a hustler mentality right there.
And from there, it's been up, man. I mean, here we doing a minimum 2,200. You know, we got multiple boats within the fleet. Something like this is
2,200 what? 2,200 a month off a boat?
It's a cuddy cabin. You're looking at 1,100 for 3 hours. Where
2,200 for a few hours. Got it. So yeah, he's cooking.
Here we're making it per hour.
So for my viewers,
Per hour.
people out here that want to learn how to build a 6-figure business, 7-figure business, they want to learn how to create more success in their life. What's some advice that you could share with them?
First and foremost, I would say find yourself a mentor. Find someone that is doing what it is that you want to do. Pay them people, execute on the information, and just make sure you're not taking shortcuts.
I hear that all the time, and it seems like great advice, especially if you actually find a good mentor that cares about helping you succeed and really teaching you stuff, because it'll save so much time on research and trial and error and figuring out things through experience or failures or losing money. Especially these days with so many frauds out there. People that can build a whole entire social media portfolio and not know what they're doing at all with whatever they claim to be teaching or selling.
It was one of the things that I did when I first started, you know, business. I didn't care about the proper insurance. I didn't care about policies and procedures, SOPs, attorneys, any of that such. So if you're getting into business, make sure that you're covering yourself and your business, not by just getting an LLC, but like I said, have an attorney to read over documents, especially if you're doing any contract work. And last but not least, I would say make sure that you're reinvesting into the business. That's something I didn't do as well. I take that damn chicken, I go buy the flyest clothes, the newest shoes, the newest outfits. So now I've learned.
At least he's honest, because most people do that.
Once it come in, pay yourself as the CEO, pay your staff, and then invest back into the business.
To understand Fort Washington's wealth, you have to see the homes and understand the type of people that are buying them. That's why I met with Richest, a local realtor who knows this neighborhood inside and out.
For some of those big houses where you can walk out back and there's water right there, right by the National Harbor that's built up now, so that definitely made property values go up over the years.
Fort Washington is one of the richest black neighborhoods in America. Why do you feel like there's so many rich and successful black people here in Fort Washington?
There's a lot of factors. I think that it's the proximity to Washington, D.C., the proximity to so many different Air Force bases, military bases.
Okay.
So a lot of people in this area have a lot of options for jobs and higher up jobs in the military, with the Pentagon being so close to D.C. as well.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting that the first two people that we saw in PG County had nothing to do with the federal government. One was rich off real estate, the other was rich off owning a boat company, which is still mind-blowingly dope to me.
They tend to have government jobs.
Absolutely.
Military jobs.
Yes.
Okay, and it's because it's being close to Washington, D.C. and all the government buildings.
Absolutely.
Washington, D.C., Fort Belvoir in Virginia, Andrews Air Force Base, the Pentagon, like she said, that definitely will make sense to me that most of these people would be in some way connected to the government.
How much would you say is a type of income that people are making? Like average income that a seller is like earning?
In a neighborhood like this, people are making upwards of $200,000 a year. And they are working either in the government or higher up in the military or in the medical field.
So how much does a house like this cost?
This house cost about $3.5 million.
$3.5 million in PG County? I know PG County is expensive, but 3.5, that's about normal, right? A big house like that, 4,000 square feet, 700,000. All right, let me see. 950 up. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's that house right there. 3.5. Another one for $1 million.
In Fort Washington, success isn't rare. It's expected. Generational wealth and community pride define this area. Next up, welcome to Olympia Fields, Illinois. Just 45 minutes from Chicago.
I know nothing about Illinois.
Olympia Fields is one of the wealthiest black suburbs in the Midwest. About 50% of black households earn 6 figures or more. In Olympia Fields, entrepreneurship is alive and well. Rick and Karen run Illinois' first black-owned winery called Ventrende, producing their own wines and hosting events that bring the community together. I heard this is the first and only black-owned winery in Illinois.
That's correct. First black-owned winery where we produce the wine here on premises.
That's interesting. Aren't most wine companies at vineyards, so maybe we're just here at the end process?
This is our tasting room. We're known as a micro winery. We produce the wines here on site, but we don't grow any fruit here. So when customers come in, they can always sample wine here at the counter, or you can come back to our lounge area and be seated for an actual wine flight. And you know, it's a family-owned business and family-run, so that might have something to do with it. My wife, 2 sons work here, and sometimes our daughter when she's not in school. And we hire neighborhood people to work here with us, and it's like a family. And that's the vibe that people say they get.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So these are our fermentation and our fermentation tanks.
I've never heard of a micro winery before, but a small-scale, often family-owned boutique wine producer creating artisanal wines in limited batches, typically under 500 gallons, which I guess is those tanks that they see there. But where are they getting the grapes from? Similar to a microbrewery, these operations focus on high-quality, specialized, or experimental wines, often sourcing grapes from external vineyards, whether they're owning their own. Okay, so it's kind of like a shortcut to owning the winery. Like, you don't have to own your own vineyard. You can buy that and then do the wines yourself. Very cool.
All the ones are blending tanks for smaller lots.
How did you become the first and only black-owned winery in Illinois?
You know, my background is in wine and spirits distribution.
Okay.
And for years, I worked with suppliers on work whiffs, going out into the market, selling wine and liquor to different retail establishments, bars and restaurants, and then visiting so many supplier production facilities. I said, you know what? It's time to start learning to do this on my own and cut out my boss and go for what I knew at that point.
Always cut out the middleman when you can.
Keisha Wheaton has helped families buy homes in Olympia Fields for years.
So welcome to Olympia Fields.
We saw PG County, Fort Washington houses going for $1 million to $3 million. I wonder how much Olympia is going.
Let's get started. So the South Suburbs is like the staple for that country, more so comfortable living, right? So you got the city where the hustle and bustle, and you come to the South Suburbs to settle. So Olympia Fields is one of the South Suburbs that we as entrepreneurs love to kind of put our staple in. So there's tons of black businesses around here, tons of African Americans that own home here. A lot of entrepreneurs came here to settle and, you know, make their name here in Olympia Fields. So of course that just went on for generations to generations, and now we are here continuing that generation on, where a lot of younger people who are also now ready to start their families are here making Olympia Fields also their staple. So you have tons of nurses, people in the medical field, again, tons of entrepreneurs, so people who own restaurants, as you can see, a winery, people who are here who have started something, who have built something. There's people that's here that wants to engage with them, engage with their business, and also continue to grow with them.
I guess the one theme that we see through all of this is just working a regular 9-to-5 job isn't going to put you in neighborhoods like this. Everybody we've seen so far has been a successful business owner.
That's why Olympia Fields is one of the best places for young African-American entrepreneurs to lay their grounds.
What would you say is the average income that they're earning?
I would say in this market today, you're looking at least about $100K. Okay. 2 people income, if you can bring in about $100K.
I got to remember, Chicago is the Midwest. I would expect the Midwest cost of living to be way cheaper than either living on the the East Coast, New York, DC, somewhere like that, or the West Coast like California. So 100K is much less than I was thinking with that area. But again, cost of living, a house like that isn't going to be $3 million in Illinois like it would be in Fort Washington.
I would say at the average low, 100K.
Pretty much a lot of the black people that are moving here, they're pretty much six-figure earners.
They're that or very close. I would say at a bare minimum, you're probably looking at about 91. Okay. But more likely to get something of this magnitude, about 6 figures, yeah.
With nearly 50% of black households earning 6 figures, Olympia Fields proves success and family can thrive together. Now, on to stop number 3. Welcome to View Park, California. View Park has one of the highest numbers of upper income black households in the country. 45%
gotta be rich to live in California. Because the cost of living on the West Coast is crazy.
5% of households earn over $100,000 and 23% earn over $200,000. A major part of that is because of the business ownership here. Like Greg Doolin, owner of Doolin's on Crenshaw. This is one of the best soul food spots in all of LA.
We've been doing it for a long time. Okay. We started in 1975, so this is our 50th year in business, if you can believe that. My parents started the business in 1975 with a hamburger stand called Hamburger City. And that's how we had very humble beginnings.
A generational business in the black community is so dope.
Started in 1975, so this is our 50th year in business this year.
Right. I hear this is one of the richest black neighborhoods in America.
Right.
Why do you think that is? Like, what's special here in comparison to other neighborhoods?
It is a neighborhood where you have families that raise their kids, take an interest in their kids' lives. Emphasis on education is consistent throughout the household. A lot of the families, the parents are professional. Either they're professional in terms of medical or education or just a variety of different areas of endeavor. And then you have a lot of entrepreneurs.
Of course, real estate tells a full story, and Obi is one of the most well-known realtors in this area. She helped me tour View Park homes, showing how wealth and homeownership intersect. Well, I want to see how these houses look, and also I want to figure out why there's so many rich black people in this neighborhood.
I can't wait to tell you about View Park because we do have one of the highest concentration of well-to-do black people in this area. A lot of people that actually own here have been here for multi-generation. Now, you know, there was a covenant which prevented black people from purchasing houses. Well, when they lifted it up, when they lifted that, this became one of those neighborhoods that a lot of black people that are higher income earners actually purchased it.
When she's talking about a covenant in place, I assume she's talking about redlining, which was a law that limited where black people could own properties. It told you where you could own a house and where you couldn't as a black person. And that process was outlawed in 1968 with the Fair Housing Act.
What type of jobs do people have to live in a place like this?
Listen, so we have white-collar jobs. We have people that are attorneys. We've got producers. We've got actors. And in fact, there have been a lot of famous people that are actually owned in this neighborhood. Are you familiar with Tina Turner?
Yeah.
Well,
are you familiar with Tina Turner? Yes, Obi, we are familiar with Tina Turner.
She actually owned an Olympia. And you know Ray Charles?
Yeah.
On Southwood.
What salary range are people like earning in this type of neighborhood?
Yeah, I want to know how much that house costs that they're in.
We're talking about $120,000 and up.
I would expect it to be a lot more than $120,000 out there.
Which is higher than the national average. Now, there's some people that are actually making way more than that.
Okay. So average minimum.
So like this beautiful house that we're in, like how much is this?
This is 2.438.
God, you ain't buying that house with $100,000. What do the regular houses out there look like in cost for people that make $100,000?
With this house, you're getting a 4-bedroom, 4-bath main house, which is almost 2,300. It's about 2,381 square feet, actually, to be exact. And then you also have a detached pool house. And that pool house is 343 square foot.
Now it's time for the final stop. Welcome to Baldwin Hills, California. Back in the 1950s and 60s, when racial barriers began to lift, Baldwin Hills became one of the few LA neighborhoods where black professionals can actually buy property, laying the foundation for generational wealth today.
This is a nice house, and I assume it's just as much as the other one. It's called Black Hollywood. $2 million. Is this a $2 million house?
Yeah, this one has been tastefully remodeled, and this is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath home priced at just under $1.6 million.
Let me ask you this.
1.6 million. What is happening out there? We know the housing market is gas. Like, prices have been going up nonstop since the pandemic. And they never stopped, even though people stopped being able to afford houses. I think they just reported that the average first-time home buyer now is almost 40 years old, which is the oldest in American history because things are so unaffordable. But it is what it is, I guess.
Because just like, you know, View Park, I came here because I heard Baldwin Hills is one of the richest black neighborhoods in America.
You heard right.
Why is it so rich? Like, what's special about it?
We are close to everywhere in the city. And it's a closed community, and it's really not a community that you just drive through.
So tell me, so these houses are really nice.
Yes.
They're not cheap.
Not at all.
What type of jobs do people have living out here in Baldwin Hills?
So you've got attorneys, you've got tech industry, architects, judges, doctors, producers, name it. And in fact, let me tell you, John Singleton actually lived in this neighborhood.
Wow.
Okay, and we also had D.L. Hughley live in this neighborhood. Ice Cube.
Okay, that's black legacy right there.
While I'm in the area, I want to see if I can find some locals to actually see what they do for a living. This looks like a nice car. Oh, hey, this is a nice automobile here.
Thank you.
Question, do you live here in Baldwin Hills?
I do.
Was that a setup or not? She was getting out the car a little too slow for that to be incidental. Let's see, was that a setup?
Oh, hey.
Hey, how you?
I be getting out the car, I got 3, 4, 5 things in my hands. I be dropping stuff. She got out the car a little too clean and measured for that not to be coordinated beforehand.
Question, do you live here in Baldwin Hills?
I do.
You live here in Baldwin Hills?
I live here in Baldwin Hills.
I also don't know if anybody getting off a long-ass day of work and commute through them California streets will be that pleasant for somebody to just start recording them when they're trying to get in the house.
I've lived here for over 20 years.
What does someone have to do to live out here? What do you do for a living?
I'm an accountant. I have a CPA firm. It's Hollywood, it's California. Most of the people to be able to afford to live up here have to either be really old neighbors or somebody who's come into a really good job.
Yeah, really good job. That's what I'm saying. 100,000 ain't enough to live out there. Not with houses that's priced at $1 million.
I don't be too much in your business, right? But like, what ballpark do you make?
250, 250,000. She owns a CPA firm, right? That's what she said. 250,000.
Let's just say somewhere between $300,000 to $500,000 a year.
Hey,
I was wrong. Okay, CPAs out there, go start a firm. I was wrong.
What's
Shout out to
one
the
single
my
piece of
old
advice
homegirls
that you could share with them?
I tell people to always look at their finances. If there's a way for you to invest, and that doesn't have to be big, you could start small. It could just be, you know, thinking about putting some money aside and doing that continually and take it off the top. Sort of pay yourself first.
Yes.
So
The earlier the better. The earlier you invest, the more compound interest will work for you and make money while you sleep. You just gotta stay consistently investing.
that's how I would think. If you can start that early enough, hopefully you'll kind of keep that going and you'll get to a point where you can live here.
Inside America's richest black neighborhoods. This was a great video. It's great to know that there are black neighborhoods worth that much for people that make that much. I think it was really interesting to see the type of businesses that people own. It seems like the repeated answer was entrepreneurship, owning your own business or company, which I think we all know at this point is really the only way to get out of the rat race. But thanks for watching.
Yeah. Yo, first and foremost, thank y'all for checking, rocking out with your boy. I'm trying to get better at this. But yo, this was dope. Hopefully this sparks some ideas for some people. Like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and also I think you get 3 super hypes a week or something like that. If you wouldn't mind, hit your boy with a super hype. Helps me out in the algorithm. And the ignorant eclectic mad genius. I'll catch y'all on the next transmission, man. Peace.